So, what I'm going to cover today is what is the pelvic floor. So, as Dr. Lim already shared, it is a group of muscles, and I'll show you later. What does it do in staying continent? So, staying continent basically means I do not leak, pee, or poo. And what can I do to bulletproof? So, who over here understand what bulletproof means? Actually, this happened, no? I thought I was so clever, I put bulletproof. Then I walk in, I was like, I think this group may not understand. So bulletproof, right, is if you take somebody, you shoot the gun, right, then they will wear the jacket. So doesn't matter what they shoot at you, right, you will still stay strong, you'll still stay alive. So the whole point of saying, what can I do to bulletproof, is what can I do to make myself solid? I will not leak poo, I will not leak pee. And the last is, Rachel, I think what you say is very interesting, but I have no idea how to start. So I give you a bit of links, yeah? So, this is the pelvic floor. Never seen before, right? Yeah, it's kind of awkward. So, if you have partners, right, the only way you will see is you don't see your own one, you see the other person's one. Only if the person is lying down, the feet are up, then you see the backside, see the vagina, and this one, of course, you see the anus, and then you see the penis. But actually, if you see the color, it's same color for a reason. All of the muscles are actually the same. You see green, 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 green. Only the pink color one is shaped a little different. But they do the same things. A little bit of different shape, but they do the same things, and they're all very, very important, okay? Why are they very important? So, I know these are all just squiggly shapes. But basically, this is your bladder, urine. For women, you've got your uterus, vagina, rectum. And then for the men, quite similar. It's just that you have this extra one walnut prostate in the middle. So if you look at that, there are some differences in the organs. Unfortunately, right, God made it very easy for women to leak urine because you see it's very easy for this to be quite open. And men have opposite problem usually. Men usually have, oh no, I feel like I need to pee, then I stay at the toilet, and it's very slow. I have to wait, and then you can hear your friend next to you already done, not done. So the pelvic floor function is similar, but we have some differences between men and women. So what we talk about is also slightly different. Exercise almost the same, but slightly different angling. One need to keep in, one need to, opposite release. So different issues, same muscle. So I always say, keep it simple. What does the door do? What does the door do? Correct! Open and close. So the pelvic floor is also the same. When you open, things will come out, things can come in. When you close, of course, things will stay in. So that is the function of the pelvic floor. Very simple, right? No need to think so hard. This is where it gets a bit more complicated. So if you go and see the urologist, a lot of times the urologist will talk about bladder. You're like, I don't really care about bladder, I only think about urine. Urine is important. I don't know how bladder is important. So the bladder is important because actually HDB, the double door. So the first door on the inside is the bladder door. Then the second door is the pelvic floor. So the thing is, for women we have 2 doors. For men got 3 doors. So that's why I say, sometimes very easy, 2 door open. But then for men, open, then one start, how? So slightly extra problems for the men for getting things out. Slightly more problems for women if they cannot keep things in. So let's say if you had a vaginal birth, a little older, we're talking about 65 and above, then the inside door not so strong naturally. Everything is, your face is a little bit not so stretchy. Inside also same. Doesn't recoil close so well. The pelvic floor is the outer door. Okay, so 1 door, 2 door, and that's how the pelvic floor is important for control. If we're aging, we cannot help aging. We can actually strengthen the outer door. So most of you know, right, it's okay to leave the inside door open and then you got air coming through the house, very liang, right? It's okay, but nobody will come in, nobody will come out because the outside door is closed. So you have double duty, okay? Same thing with bowels. So bowels, you have rectum, storage, and then you see this funny red thing, this is your muscle. And then this is the second door, which is your sphincter. So if you have issues with it being a bit long and loose, poo can come out. If too tight, you see, it looks like it's choking the rectum, right? That's kind of its job. But choking the rectum means that things cannot come out. So you think about it lah. It's door, open, close, very easy to understand. So a few different things, if you want to understand why the pelvic floor is important, is because it does, as I said, open, close door, yeah? So stress incontinence, this is one example. So if you have a lot of pressure, so can you imagine somebody in this toilet is on the inside of the toilet, and then someone else from the outside, super urgent, to open the door. If the door is a bit loose, it will open, right? So this is where the pelvic floor strengthen, make sure your lock is working very, very well. It's the same for bladder, it's the same for bowel. So with incontinence, the simplistic version is, no matter how full, you should be able to hold the door shut. Okay? Then this one, very cute, right? It's not cute if you're suffering this with pooping. So anybody who's had constipation before, you know, the third day, fourth day, you start feeling like this, a little crowded, but want to come out, cannot come out. So the other type of pelvic floor dysfunction is incomplete. You feel like want to come out, cannot come out, also not fully come out. Alright? Constipation. This one also a problem because double doors, remember? Having sexual intercourse for men, we're talking about erectile function, hardness. For women, it's literally the double door. Sometimes can be dry, painful, tight. Okay, so these different issues are pelvic floor dysfunction related. So I just like this picture because sometimes the poo really feel like that. Want to come out, cannot come out. Or you feel this, oh my gosh, I really have to push, the door is not budging. So if you have issues with constipation, it links together with fecal incontinence as well. Because if you have quite a lot of remainder, or things are pushing through, are soft, they will come out as well. So you do need to get assessed by a medical provider to make sure whether it's really a loose stool problem, or whether you are so constipated, right, that only the water is coming out, then you end up leaking, okay? Leaking, which is this one, the cat is coming out. Alright, so simple, pelvic floor is your door to the bottom bits, okay? So then the most important thing, what can I do to bulletproof my continence? What can I do to maintain control over my bladder and my bowel? So number one, weight and general exercise. This one no need to hold up your hand, but who exercise enough, who is of healthy weight? You can raise your hand in your head. If you're not, then you put tick. This is the first thing I can do to keep myself continent. And it's very easy to understand why weight plays a big part. If you think about your bladder and your bowels, your stomach, if your stomach is very heavy, is it going to be very difficult for the muscles? So for example, your wife go to NTUC, and then after that she asks you to carry 500 grams. Okay, right? You don't feel like my body going lower and lower. But if she asks you to carry the 10 kilo rice to go home, what are you going to do? You're going to think about it twice, right? You're going to say, okay, it's very heavy. You're going to walk, get tired, lower, maybe fall down. Okay? So if you think about the pelvic floor, it's also the same. If you have a very, very strong habit of holding your urine, it's going to be very difficult if the bladder is very heavy. And then if you have a little bit extra weight on top, your buffer is lesser because you have the abdominal weight on top. So those are the most straightforward things where weight control is very important. If you have had issues, okay, I say the first issue is actually childbirth, pregnancy. Can you imagine? Last time very skinny, now then suddenly put on a lot of weight in a short period of time. Everything expands. The balloon become a little looser. No choice, have to make space. This is where most obvious pelvic floor exercise is useful because the bottom already has had a little bit of issues. For men, the most common is you have your prostate cancers, surgery, any surgeries between this corner can knock out those muscles. If you have issues with like you can pee, control not so good, dribble a bit, those are all signs that the door is not so strong, a little loose, okay? So these things are the ones that we'll cover later, how you can start if you have some issues. If you have no issues, I would say, actually most of the time, as long as you keep strong, that is enough. Because automatically it's all working already. So you just need to make sure everything is strong. So I mean, go for your walks, go for your swim, go strengthening exercises, leave your grandkids, all those things help you to stay strong. Last one is Basics is the best. Bowel and bladder health, good habits. So if you like to take notes, I would say you take pictures of those 2 slides, yeah? Because this one usually quite hard to remember all. So when I say healthy weight, what do you mean by healthy weight, Rachel? I have no idea. Number one, now we have the, very simple, $5 you can go and screen. They will tell you whether you are healthy weight or not. If you don't want to go polyclinic and screen, it's also okay. These are numbers for Asians. General, very general. So if you're very muscular, usually the BMI not so applicable, yeah, because it's just general, talking about your heart health, diabetes, hypertension things. So BMI, we're looking at 31 is already overweight. And then 27.5 is obese. If you are within these 2 categories, your number is a bit high, then you say, okay, maybe if I just exercise, my continence control will already get better. This is a straightforward thing to think about, okay? So if I'm heavy, you slowly try to bring down the weight, you actually find that the continence control will be easier. Second one also, actually I find this is more useful. Go and look at your waistline. Okay, it's quite straightforward. The numbers are, if male, you are 90 centimeters and above, abdominal fat content. Remember I said tummy heavy. So you look, is my tummy heavy? Females, a little smaller because our shape is a little bit more hourglass. Our allowance is less. Men got more allowance. Okay? So if you are above these numbers, simplistically, let's slowly get the weight down. Weight loss is also not instantaneous. So we're looking at span of 3 months, 6 months goal. Then you see, oh, actually I forgot that I got this urinary or fecal issue. Because I lost weight and everything got a little bit better. So number one, healthy weight, healthy lifestyle. So now you know what is weight. What is healthy lifestyle? So this one is not I say one, this one is HPB. Our government say one, but the government, this advice actually is very good. If you look at it, right, we're looking at 150 to 300 minutes of moderate exercise. So when we say moderate, it means that if I talk to my friend, right, and I walk quite fast, I will have a little bit of difficulty actually continuing conversation. If you find that very ling, this sort of speed, I can talk forever, it's not enough. Okay, so you want to walk until, a little chuan, but still can talk to you. So that sort of speed, 150 minutes to 300 minutes is good. Okay, so NTUC shopping means that if you carry your shopping bag, that's actually exercise. Okay, so you don't think that all these things are not counted. They are counted if you do them in bouts of 10 minutes and above, because the heart rate will work hard. Okay, so 150 minutes. So Rachel, what else do I do other than my NTUC shopping? What else can I do? We're talking about squats, we're talking about balance, dancing, all these things. As we're a little older, anybody 65 and above, we need to talk about things like balance, which include Tai Chi, one leg standing. Okay, all these things are more important as you get a little bit older and are included in 150 minutes. So what can I do? Boxing, not boxing people, but boxing the air. Okay, it's quite good for cardio. If you ever done before, right, you know 3 minutes, I am pretty chan already, even me, okay? Cycling, swimming, walking, all these things are good for heart health, good for bringing down the weight, keeping you healthy, okay? So all these things all count. Staircase, everybody can walk up and down the staircase later, 10 minutes, you already hit some of your quota for the day. So this one, if you're not very familiar, a lot of people are quite hesitant. But there's actually a lot of information online. If you check YouTube for senior exercises, there are a lot of nice ones where the seniors are doing with their son and daughter actually. Excellent, excellent, because they will give you level 1, they'll give you level 2. Then once you get more used to exercise, then you can start thinking about a little bit of weights, being a little bit more aggressive with how far you can go down with the movements. So all these exercises obviously will make you stronger, because if you're lifting weights, you have to brace, the bottom also will get stronger. So if you have no issues, all these type of general exercises are very good and are enough. However, if you are already leaking, if you're already having issues holding, this is when you need to be a little bit more specific. So I would say Chinese pussy, tuition class. So if I cannot hit my goal, I want to get 80%, right? I cannot say I will keep doing what I'm doing, right? I need to do something a little different. I need a little bit of tuition. This is where the tuition is for pelvic floor. So identification means, where is it? Isolation, can I just do that? Improve, that one easy lah, just improve. Integration means that when I'm walking, when I'm carrying, when I'm coughing and I'm sneezing, I'm using it at the right time. So, big things again. Let's practice. So everybody, if you are not so paiseh, you can put your hand on your bum bum, sit on your hands. And in between your hands, you will find that, oh, actually there's a bony bit and there's a soft bit. You don't have to go to middle. You just put it underneath and you feel. I want to actually try. Everybody, let's try. Can I get you to squeeze your anus? So you think, breakfast a bit gassy, I ate too many big beans this morning. Ooh, want to come out already. And then you say you squeeze your anus very tight. You hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you relax. Oh, I control my gas. If you can do that, that's a very good pelvic floor exercise. That's a bit more for bowel control. What about urine? So for urine, everybody, I know this chair very comfortable, everybody is sitting behind. Can you sit nice and tall for me? So I see I got no chair, I have to squat. So you're looking at, instead of going slouchy, everybody can you sit very tall, my head, I imagine I got a book there. Then you feel, oh, for the man, easy. You can feel your scrotum on the front of the chair. For the women, not so easy, but you agak in the middle. And then now you try. I'm gonna hold my urine, okay? I just had too much coffee, but I need to hold my urine. Haven't break time yet. You do a little bit of a vagina squeeze, urethra squeeze. For the men, you think testicle lift, you're thinking penile shortening. Hold, and slowly let go. Alright, so that's a pelvic floor movement. It's not the exercise, okay? It's just how to move, like how I move my elbow. If you want to exercise, this is where I challenge all of you now. Everybody, you choose you want to do forward or back or all also can. Squeeze and hold for me. Tahan And can everybody count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. I think those that release already know. I saw quite a few. Let go everything. Then you know the endurance not very good. So that's the first test. So if you find that I fail the 5-second count, you just practice 3 seconds, then slowly. Like for me, I can squeeze and hold and walk and laugh all the same time. But I won't do that the whole day. So you want to be able to do that. Then remember the door cannot open, different problem. So let's try the fast one. So cough, sneeze, laugh at my Rachel's very funny joke. You know, that sort of situation. So let's try. I want you to do squeeze, relax, squeeze, relax, squeeze, relax, squeeze, relax. I only see 1 or 2 people doing it. How about everybody else? Cannot cheat me one, I've been doing this for a while. Try again. Very nice and tall. You want to make life difficult, then you do slouching, okay? If not nice and tall, and you're thinking, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Very good. I see people doing hands. This is actually normal. So it's a lot easier when you're doing a new task to feel the movement. Some people feel that picking up is easier. Some people feel squeezing is easier. It feels a bit different, right? So you pick up, the front will move more. You squeeze, anus and bum bum will come up. So slightly different movements will help with different actions. But they're all good, as long as you slowly learn them. Okay, so this is how you identify. Number 1, if you cannot go home, right, then you can do slightly more complicated. You can put your finger close to your anus or in your anus. For ladies, got vagina, better choice usually. On the tailbone. So you know the tailbone is that pokey thing. We have no tail, but we have tailbone. Under the tailbone, you can actually feel a little bit of movement. And then for those that, this I have no idea, what are you talking about, Rachel? You can just go karaoke. Alright? So what you can try now is, everybody now you know what that squeeze feels like. I want you to go, E. And nobody going E. Louder, better. E. You can feel a bit of a squeeze, right? Then what about you go, grrr. So now you know, if you want to hold, you can do E. If you want to relax, you do grrr. Other options that are more common is if you walk into the toilet, then you can hear someone go, you know this person is constipated. Okay, because you do, now you try, you do, does it go up or down? Okay, then everybody be different, no correct answer, okay? Normally, if you do, it will go up. Which then means, remember the cat going through the door, jam? So normally it will jam, because you're only opening halfway. Right? So identification. Then we're talking about isolation, we did already just now. But basically, if you feel that I have to hold my breath, your abdominal bracing. If you feel that you're jumping off the chair every single time you do the exercise, your buttock is working too hard. And then some people, when they do, suddenly they walk like that, right? You know, they're trying to use their pelvic floor, they're using their inner leg. So this one, not so good. Okay? So these are just a few cues that you can take picture. It's a bit different. Remember, men got extra appendage outside, women got extra appendage inside. The cues are a little different. You can talk to yourself about them at home if you cannot remember what Rachel said. Okay? Give you some time. So you see, I will have bladder, I have back passage, and then after that nuts to guts, testicles away from cold water. So all these things are very nice ways to think about how to move these muscles. Okay, so this is improvement. Where is your pussy? So this improvement, you usually want to reach about 30 seconds if you're talking about minimally the front bladder. If you've got fecal incontinence, we're talking about 3-minute holds. The hold is not squeeze and hold until I feel I cannot feel my backside. It's a gentle squeeze. A gentle squeeze is enough to hold back, pull, and pee if you're doing it right. Okay? If you have, this only if you're weak. If you are weak, then that's where you want to try for up to 30 seconds and repeat 10 repetitions 3 times a day. If you feel that I do 4, I already like my head want to bust, my buttock cramping already, then you're doing it wrong, do a little bit lesser. It's actually correct one. Okay? Less is more, you must do it well. Then this one is the more common one, actually cough and sneeze for women, which is the fast one. So also same, very simple. But the fast one is actually the more the merrier. You don't have to do just 10 because this one is a reflex. For example, if someone touch you right there, after that you're gonna hit them back, right? So that's reflex. So this one, you don't really think about it. So you want to practice as fast as many as possible, and usually within about 4 to 6 weeks, if you practice quite a lot, the fast ones, cough and sneeze is not a problem. Okay? So usually this one takes longer because you can think, wow, I have to practice 4 seconds, 4 seconds, 4 seconds, 4 seconds times 10 is a lot of seconds. But you can actually practice in sitting, you can practice in standing, and slowly build it up. And I will say that normal muscle takes a while. Muscle takes at least 6 to 12 weeks before you really find that, wow, this is automatic, okay? We're not saying that you will have no improvement, but you will find that it is not, I do today, tomorrow will improve. And this one, of course you omit this. This is just to show off the concept. Alright, so normally if you're not very strong, it's much easier to lie down and then hips up because then you have the gravity to help you, right? Going up and down. Neutral is this way, then standing up and down is this direction. So if you have gravity against you, if you have gravity and weight against you, it's a lot harder. Then the most difficult pelvic floor exercise is jumping. So normally I tell people, they say, hey, I think my pelvic floor is weak. I said, I thought you were at the trampoline park for 2 hours yesterday. You got leg or not? Don't have. I don't think you are weak lah. If you are weak, you cannot control while jumping because it's the biggest force that you can get along with pooping very hard and coughing with COVID. If you know what I mean, you cough for 1 hour. If you never leak, right? I think it's not a strength problem. Okay, so those are little tips that you can tell, hey, am I really weak? Do I need to do this extra pussy tuition or not? Okay, so lastly, what are the basic things that I need to get right for pelvic floor health? And actually, these are much more important to every single system in the body. We're talking, if you have any problems with your bowels, if you have any problems with your bladder, if you have any problems with some exercises, they'll all have effect, okay? So sometimes the basic things are the most important. Because once you get them right, you make life easier for your muscle will just work for you. Muscle is, I like to say muscle is like dog like that. Dog, you tell them what to do, actually they just follow one. They don't really ask any questions, okay? So, for bowels, I like this picture. Everybody seen the healthy plate? Does this look like our healthy plate in Singapore? Maybe 10% of the time, yeah? Okay, most of the time the bihun is like that, and then the cai is like that. Alright, so we already know based on what you look at your plate, is this enough fiber for you? And I don't even have to talk about the apple. I also, I don't really like to eat fruits. I always got problem, I don't have this. Alright, so if you want to stay continent, you have to take enough fiber regularly. And we're talking Not like one time I eat salad middle of the day, right? Then what you will have is front very soft, middle very hard, and then after that the side very soft again. So you want to be eating it consistently with every meal. So every single meal kind of wants to look like this. And when we talk about stool type 4, it's very simple. How it go in is how it come out most of the time. Okay, so if you're eating things that are very dry, very oily, if it's oily in, oily out, it makes sense, right? You think about it. And then after that you wipe, very hard to wipe. So the problem is not that your muscle not strong, it's that the stool is too soft, it's too oily, getting stuck on your bum, yeah? So you really want to make sure you've got enough healthy fiber, fruit and water, and then after that the stool looks like bananas, nice and soft. I also say that some people have very thin stool. If they're very thin stool, but it's very soft, actually you are straining. Because what's happened is like toothpaste, you squeeze very hard, it will still come out. But it's pencil thin, that's not healthy. You are still straining, okay? So no straining, no pain, no bleeding. Another one is ineffective emptying. So it's pretty much, to keep it simple, after I pull, I sit down, within that sort of 3 to 5 minutes, shook. I want to feel empty. If you don't have that shook, everything is empty, you are ineffectively emptying. Got some problem. Maybe the door can open, maybe cannot close, the stool too soft, too hard. Okay? You should not, of course, be soiling. So soiling means that you should not be letting go of any piece of stool. Some people have little bit, that also count. So we call that skid marks. Skid marks is still stool, losing stool. And then usually, normal bowel is 3 times a day. Okay? And 3 times a day means that you have 3 good chances to poo. That's assuming you are eating 3 times a day. Okay? If you eat 2 meals a day, then it reduces, maybe one small one in the morning, you drink water, then after that, after the meals, that triggers peristalsis. So we think of it as train track. So if you move the train track on the top, the bottom, 20 minutes later will move, then you think, make space, okay? So that's peristalsis, and it's normal up to 3 times a day. Okay? Normal, other people got variation, some people only once. Some people many small ones. But if you look, maybe you eat also a little bit, eat nuts, eat cheese, then it makes sense why sometimes you feel you have to have a bit more urge. But then the problem is that maybe you cannot hold at all, then you keep pulling. So, but normal bowel is about like that. So we're talking about what it looks like. Sausage, snake, smooth. So it's kind of normal, sometimes you go traveling to be here to here, yeah? But most of the time, this is healthy, this is good, this is easy, okay? So we kind of want to keep it within there, and quite healthy. Haha, I think everybody has seen this. Now less, okay? You go Malaysia, you go China, you'll still see some of these pictures, correct? So eating regular is important, because then remember peristalsis. Fiber and water, also peristalsis. Listening to urge. So listening to urge, this one I find in Singapore context sometimes can be a bit difficult because not everybody likes to use the public toilets. We have to face facts, it's really the truth. So it's just not as comfortable as a house. But if you have a very common habit to, I will only poo at home, you're gonna end up with backlog. And that will be difficult because poo can be harder, can get softer and things like that. So listening to the urge to go within sort of that 20 minutes once you feel it, is the easiest, because then after that your rectum will push, all your pelvic floor has to do is open and get out of the way. Alright? Does anybody know what this is? Squatting. So this one comes with disclaimer. Squatting is the best, but squatting on the toilet bowl, I will say, is a little scary. So most of the time, if you've ever squatted on the toilet bowl, you'll be like, hold the side, the legs moving like that. So it's still not so good, okay? Because your muscles are like, I don't want to fall. How to open? Okay? Same with this one. So a tip here is that if you have problems with this, please go and buy those very cheap $3 liner. Just take out the pocket, put on the liner, sit on the toilet bowl, okay? Then you have a very relaxed poo. Pee also same, okay? So these actions are not good bowel habits. Trust me, the splashback if your poo is hard is even more scary, so please just sit down, alright? And then after that, no straining. So obviously, no hovering, minimal effort, minimal straining. That is perfect poo. Same with pee okay? Everything should feel relaxed, easy. So How to pull properly? What is pull properly? So let's try again, everybody. Everybody squat down. Rachel really got no chair today. So we're going to squat down, lean forward for me. For those with a bigger belly, open your leg bigger, okay? So you have space. I want your forearms on your thighs, no tippy-toeing. Because if you tippy-toe, it's the same problem where your muscle will get closed, alright? Lean forward, nice straight back. And then I want you to go, or go, move. Then you feel this happen. You will feel from kinked to open. So this is a nice way to open your pelvic floor. Open the door, pull, come up, done. Okay, so it's one of the best tips that you can have. So instead of actually squatting on the toilet bowl, usually nowadays we will ask for a stool. Alright, nice wide stool. If you're a bit more narrow, you can use a wide, narrow stool. If your tummy is bigger, you can be wide, open. If not, you'll feel like you're squeezing your belly, also cannot come out. Okay? So, bladder. What are good habits? This one is a bit tricky. We generally talk, it's dependent on your size. You're smaller, you need a little bit less. If you go outside walking more, you need a little bit more because you're sweating. If you're larger, you definitely more just because your body is bigger. So we say generally 1.5 to 3. There's a just right. 2 liter, what happens? Your urine become concentrated. You will still feel urgent, but not enough volume to come out. Different problem. More than 3 liters, you confirm will pee a lot lah. Okay, just because you have a lot of urine building up because you're drinking a lot. So same as pooping, you want to be just right. Listen appropriately. So if you're drinking about 1.5 to 2 liters, we will say it's very normal every 2 to 3 hours to go once. Very normal, okay? I don't know why, but some people feel, I can hold my bladder for 6 to 8 hours and I'm so proud of it, you know. I'm like, yeah, but your kidney is not very happy at you. Your bladder expanded, you know. So it's just go when you need to go. So that's one. The second one, actually Singapore a lot because we have too many toilets. So some people very poor thing. Once they see the toilet, then the bladder will say, hey, I can go there. And then you squeeze. You're like, but I just went half an hour ago. I didn't drink any water. I didn't drink like 2 liters just now. How come? And then you go there and you sit. Nothing much. Because you have trained your bladder to go just in case. So this is not because of urine, but it's because of a habit. So our brain is very strong. If you train the brain to go to toilet when you see the toilet sign, it will just follow. Okay? So going just in case is a problem in Singapore. In other places, not so many toilets, that trigger not so bad. Another one I want to point out is before sleep. Okay, later they'll talk about it a little bit more. But before sleep is very sure a lot of people. Hey, I'm going to sleep. It's 10 o'clock. I go toilet. I don't have any urge. I sit down, I pee. I lie in bed and then I open my phone. Half an hour later, hey, I haven't slept yet there. How come I feel time to go again? And then you go. And then the cycle repeats itself over and over and over again. And then even without the handphone, you go holiday, you will still feel. Remember, because you train your bladder as a habit to go just before you go to bed. So the trigger is going to bed. And then another one is pee in the shower. Don't say but I know a lot of us will pee in the shower. Pee in the shower, sit down toilet bowl, pee again. So you're actually creating a loop and training your bladder. So these type of things are not good to hold in the long run. Because at a certain point, it becomes overwhelming. You have to actually train it back again. So I would say just in case it's not healthy, go appropriately. Okay, so I already discussed long period of time, not good for your kidney, not good for bladder. For men and women, we're talking about bladder habits, cleaning from front to back. So because we just don't want poo to come into the urethra, you don't catch UTI, so it's just infection control. Some people will say, Richard, my hand is not long enough. I say, that's not true, okay? Because what you do is that instead of going like, some people are used to pushing this way. Actually, you just have to pull the other way. If you want, you can go from the front, you go to the back. That works as well. So that's for females. For men, if you've not had your foreskin removed, we will always say that you just pull it back and wash it, water. Don't need to soak very much. That is genital hygiene. Okay? So that's good for your bladder because you don't want infections. There we go. Normal, already say 4 to 7, 3 to 4 hours. Absolutely normal. If you're older too, bladder volumes 250 to 600 is 3/4 full most of the time. 600 is more for the men. 600 is a lot for a woman. And then once per night if you're above 65. Below 65, you're talking about 0.
Ability to defer as long as needed, meaning that I can hold if I want to, doesn't mean I should all the time. And then effective bladder emptying means I sit down, I pee, everything is clear, I'm done. And usually you want to be about 10 seconds good stream. Good stream meaning shh, instead of, like a bit jibber, that one doesn't count. Okay, so 10 seconds good stream, generally you're in a good space. No leakage at any time. So meaning even though 1-2 drops, those are not considered normal. Don't have to deal with it, okay? And no hesitancy. This is especially for the men. I stand there, I shouldn't be waiting and waiting and waiting. And then I should just stand there, I pee, I'm done. If you need a few shakes, and off on your way. Normal. So, actually I'm already done. This answers the last question. So where do I look for help if I have no idea what Rachel has just taught? I thought, I think I want to follow up with this. So actually our website, SFCS, does have a few lists, so we can actually check it out. And then you look at the urologist if you're talking about urine, and then you have our colorectal, which is for pooping. Everything in between a little bit more confusing. So when I say everything in between, we're talking about like the sexual function and things that one we didn't cover to this talk, but we just covered urologist is for front, and then colorectal is for back. If not, you can always visit your GP to kind of discuss with them, hey, this has been really bothering me for a while, and I just learned that this is not normal. Is there anything I can do? Who should I see? Alright? And with that, I'll say thank you very much. And I have a little summary here. If you want, I'm very happy to answer questions. My email is right there. We have everyone has pelvic muscles. Just keep weight, bowel bladder habits. Basics are the best. And then after, if there are signs of dysfunction, please, start a little bit, check it out first, and there is help. Thank you very much, everyone.